Una oportunidad de hablar. Those who have not had an opportunity at public comment, this would be your time to discuss.
For those that have not had the opportunity to public comment,
It's approved.
the items on the agenda.
He's able to
Good evening. I've been observing what has been going on this evening, and I'm truly disappointed in the decision that was just made. For you to sit there and say that there is no conflict of interest, and allow this attorney to self-police themselves, and then raise a potential conflict of interest in the future, makes absolutely no sense. We have been asking since the beginning, resident after resident, for transparency. And you have just created a collusion and are creating an opportunity for folks to hide and continue what many folks believe is corruption. So if you want us to even continue to support any efforts by this council, I think you guys need to be above board and avoid any potential conflict of interest. So I really hope you guys reconsider that, because I think the public will hold you guys accountable. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, no one else stepping forward that has not previously spoken.
So he came up here and said that there could be, and you guys made it clear, you emphasized there could be, what about it in the future? You make it very clear. So at that point, it's already clear that there could be a conflict, like you said, so therefore we are saying we don't want him, it's a conflict of interest. So we have the last say, okay? We do not want him to represent. There is clearly a conflict of interest. You guys emphasized it yourself. You, Jonathan, you mentioned it, you clarified it, like you said, you dumbed it down, and we understand. So therefore, we are saying no. Understood? Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody from these last 5 rows who haven't made a public comment who would like to? Let's go up now. We don't see anybody.
And no one is stepping forward, so you can close the second portion of public.
Okay, so at this time, I'll close the second portion of public comments.
Can I get a point of order, and I'm not sure where our prosecutor went? Where'd our prosecutor go? Can we grab him?
The city prosecutor.
Mr. Litvak?
Mr. Litvak.
Sorry?
You're looking for Mr. Litvak?
Yeah. Well, city attorney, I mean, my more question is, I think there's a, okay, so I think that what's happening, and what I think staff, and I'm not sure who's gonna speak on this because we're very limited tonight with what staff we have, but I think there's a belief that the special counsel that we hired for one thing works for the city per se, but it's my understanding they don't. Is that correct? That he doesn't work for the city outside of the special investigation that occurred?
Madam Mayor, members of the council, two comments. One is, special counsel is made signal to the council. Secondly, if you're going to have any further conversation about this topic, then again, I would then recommend that Councilor Martinez and the city manager step out. But you have everything in the record, take your vote, it is included, it would probably be best to go to the budget department reports.
I think, go ahead.
Thank you. So we'll move on to departmental reports, finance.
Madam Mayor, yes, I have a letter I would like to read at this time. Dear Mayor and members of the City Council, after due and careful consideration, this letter will serve to inform the City Council of the City of Huntington Park that I individually and my law firm, Alvarez Glassman Colvin, will be exercising our rights to terminate our services pursuant to Section 12 of the Agreement for City Attorney Services dated April 6, 2015, which reads in part, the firm may terminate its services at any time with the city for good cause. Good cause exists if the city refused to cooperate with firm, refused to follow firm's advice on material matters, or otherwise made its representation unreasonably difficult. Over the recent months, the circumstances surrounding activities and action taken meets the definition of good cause as stated above. The current environment and lack of communication with my office has made our continued representation unreasonably difficult to continue to serve as city attorney. Out of respect and obligation to the attorney-client privilege, I will not articulate the facts or circumstances that led to this decision. Alvarez Glassman Colvin is proud of the excellent legal services that our firm has provided to the city for nearly a decade. I and my law firm will continue to provide services for the next 30 days or until a new city attorney or law firm is selected to take the position as your legal counsel. Thank you for the opportunity to serve as your city attorney. Very truly yours, Ronald M. Alvarez Glassman, Managing Partner, Alvarez Glassman Colvin. Thank you.
Right, that's great. Yeah. That's great.
Nothing to report, Madam Mayor.
At this point, I will close Councilor Rosanna.
Great.
First and foremost, thank you, staff. I know that it's been tumultuous, or what's the word? Tumultuous. Thank you, whoever. I say coronal or colonel instead of colonel. I'm the worst. And so I know that it's been hard this last couple of weeks, right? And I think for the last couple of weeks, I've kind of mentioned something when I'm up here, and it's that in 2013, I was where you all are right now, where I was looking at the council, what they were doing, and saying this isn't right, and I supported a change to come to this city, right? I'm the newest one up here. I've only been here less than a year because the election went up, but I supported change, and I wanted to see change, and over the last, and again, I'm repeating myself, because over the last 10 years or 12 years, I haven't seen much change. What I have seen are things that are like just the standard of what you should expect, right? Like that our streets get fixed, that we bring businesses into our community, things like that, which are great, but again, that's the bare minimum of what we should be. The material lives of our residents have not changed, and what I mean by that is that since 2012 or 2010, the rents went up by like 50%. Then since 2020, they went up by 10% each year, which is the legally allowable rent that somebody brought up by the state. Why do I know these facts? I've dedicated my life to homeless services. I know the struggles that people face day in and day out. And the reality is that the reason I ran was to try to have a voice up here that steered things in the right direction. I always try to say, hey, I'm leading with facts. I'm leading with what I'm doing, right? So some of the things that we've done and we've been criticized because we're moving too quickly were the rent stabilization ordinance, and I know it's not perfect. I know it. But our municipal code is a living, breathing document that you all get a voice in how it should operate. The other thing that we did recently was the lobbying ordinance. For those of you that don't know what that was, it was exactly this. I was seeing too much kind of, and for the record, when that item was talked about, I actually presented articles that were written about our city, that I hated that were written by our city. I share the same sentiment as many of you. When I said that I was happy that some of this stuff was happening, it's not that I'm happy that it's happening, I'm happy that it's coming to light. I'm happy that our city can move on. Our city can now actually hold folks accountable that need to be held accountable, whoever that may be. And so with that lobbying ordinance, it was to let you all know who is lobbying in our communities to get what contracts, who's paying whom to then be able to say, oh, what contracts? Because we've seen where folks receive money from vendors who are elected officials and things like that, which should never have happened. I think we should introduce term limits. I think term limits is more than enough.
Yeah.
I think,
Yes.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I think that we also need to protect our public goods, our water infrastructure. We own that, and we have a third company that like kind of oversees it. I want to make sure that our water rights are never sold. Because what we've seen in other communities is that when water rights are sold, the rates go up for our residents. So while it's still not privatized wholly, I think we as a council, as a body, need to make sure that we protect that public water. Another thing that I heard is the sanctuary city. I too am a child of immigrants that came here from El Salvador when they left the war and what was going on, looking for a better life. And I too had the opportunity to attend some of the most prestigious universities in this country, thanks to that. And because of that, I think we should think about the sanctuary cities and what would that mean for our communities and how we can better let the community know that we have their backs at the end of the day. I think it's no coincidence that the people that were served up here tonight, it wasn't about the aquatic water center, it wasn't about other things, and it's folks that have opposed organizations that show up on somebody's 700 form. I'm putting two and two together. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, I'll say that every day, but I'm putting two and two together, and I just find that interesting, right? That it seems that only us got served, yet somebody who's been written about taking money from vendors and whatnot and has been involved for 12 years wasn't served. I don't know. I don't know, right? I only come with facts and figures. I have a lot written because I too am disappointed with the aquatic center. The reality is, I skateboarded there every single day. When I left high school, I went to HPI and I would skate all the way. And those of you who knew me when I was a young kid here and my knees were not that bad, I carried a skateboard with me and I would go skate there every single day till 9 p.m. because that's when the lights would turn on. When the skate park was taken away, it hurt me because it was a place where I went to make sure that I could be safe, that I could partake in an activity that, you know, I couldn't necessarily do safely on the street, and I'm sure that our chief of police wouldn't have wanted me skating down the street trying to hit some rails, and the community had provided us a skate park. So when it went away, I too was hurt. I'm hurt that there's nothing there. I have a 3-year-old son. I have to take him to parks outside of my community.
Yes.
Because we don't have parks here in this community. I'm about to be a father for the second time. I hope that by the time that young man is 3 years old, that he will have a park to play with his older brother. I hear you all. With that said, I think that a couple of things that I would love for us to do, city manager, in upcoming meetings, is I would love to better understand the performance evaluation of some of the contracted organizations that the city has actually been a part of, especially like those that appear on the 700 form, right? We have organizations that appear on this form that are not just the city attorney. We have, I think, and Express Transportation Services is one that provides services for us, right?
Yes,
That's correct. Okay. I know. So Azure Development, right? They're helping us build affordable housing. I have questions, just like many of you. I just got here. But what I can tell you is that there's folks up here who are trying to make a difference and who are trying to move the city in the right direction. And with that, so if we can look at, if we can get a performance review of all that, and then bring it back to what action should be taken. Because I am also worried if there was any conflict of interest. You know, we brought that up a lot today. If there was any conflict of interest with the fact that these organizations appear side by side with our attorney, and then at the same time, I don't know, I wasn't here. Was he approving the way that the contracts were happening? Is that a conflict of interest when you're all appearing on one person's 700 form? Like there's a through line through everything? I just have questions as well. So with that said, I think I gave a couple of directions to staff regarding some of these things, and I look forward to hearing more.
Councilor Martinez?
First of all, I want to say thank you to all the residents that came out. I didn't say much today here, and I won't say much because I'm here to listen. As you all know, it's on social media and the news, my home was served with the search warrant. Scary times, especially for my mom who's elderly. She had a lot of, she had a lot of fear, but I just want to let everybody know that I am fully I'm fully cooperating with the district attorney. Yesterday I volunteered to be part of an interview for about almost 3 hours to get my testimony. I will continue to give any information I can. I 100% support this investigation. I believe in the truth will come out. I think that's so important. I think it's important for the city to get any documents to the district attorney and to FBI so they can learn what happened over the past years. I think we need to also review the term limit. And kind of okay with 2 terms?
See you.
Yep.
See you.
Yep.
I'm okay with 2 terms.
No retirement.
I also think we should investigate what we passed in the measure with the term limits, because I'm beginning to understand that there's a reset. That whoever was serving for X amount of years prior gets washed away and they get to serve another 4 terms. If that is true, I don't agree with that. And we need to assess that and see if we go in a different direction, and definitely assess whether looking at the PACs, putting funds into campaigns, and see how we could limit that in some ways that we don't violate state or federal law. And that's all I want to say, and thank you for coming here.
First and foremost, I just want to say thank you to the residents and the community of Huntington Park. I want you guys to take a second and imagine getting paid $120,000. $120,000 for a few hours of work.
I'm in it.
For a few hours of work, $120,000. Just a few months ago, that's what I discovered when I was looking at payments that were going out, connected to the pool project. I believe this contract was perpetuated as an outreach for the pool. How can you do outreach on a project that's been stalled for 5 years? Right. And that organization, by the name of Upward Solutions, and I believe the individual's name is Robert Urtiaga, who's the owner, now is leading my recall effort. And it's my understanding and my belief that the financiers or the financiers, the organizers of that, is also Efren Martinez. And you would be surprised that his girlfriend, Graciela Ortiz, somehow convinced, or maybe didn't, or maybe was, but the individual that served me with the recall, the main guy, is her nephew, Mr. Luis Becerra.
Yep.
The last council meeting that I had, there was 3 or 4 process servers chasing me through the hallways, in the bottom, in the lobbies, out in the back, waiting for me. There was individuals that were reporting my location. He's getting up to use the restroom. He's coming back. Now's the time to get him. I wonder who that was. But I have a response to that recall. And I'm going to be very professional, because trust me, I've been trying, I am a Marine. I've served this country and I went to war twice. And politics is a contact sport. So it doesn't scare me to go to war again. And I will go to war for my community. The subject, response to the notice of intent to circulate a recall petition. I, Vice Mayor Arturo Flores, and I will, City Clerk, I'll provide you with a copy of this. I, Vice Mayor Arturo Flores, categorically reject the misleading and defamatory allegations contained in this notice. This effort does not reflect my record of service, but appears to be a politically motivated attempt to hinder transparency and accountability. And I know you guys have heard about it's a politically motivated effort. I know that it gets used a lot, but I'm telling you right now, this is exactly what this is, and I'll tell you why. This recall follows a commitment to investigate the failed pool project. That's what I call it, because the project is a failure, a complete failure, which cost the taxpayers approximately $12 million over 5 years with nothing to show but an empty lot. And the number's gotten higher, $14 million. I believe that this recall is a retaliatory effort by those seeking to avoid accountability for mismanagement. Here are the facts, because the recall said some crazy things. And I hope you guys don't go read it, but there's a website that Mr. Robert Urtiaga, his name pops up, his company's name, Upward Solutions, and a cute website, by the way. Residency. I have lived in our city throughout my tenure on city council. As you guys know, there was a councilman that was removed from her seat because she lived in Southgate. And by the way, that investigation started in September. She was tipped off on it in January and tried to submit fraudulently reports that she was being targeted so she could say that she was a victim. Wrong, you missed it. It started in September and it was going on for months. But nice try, former woman Castillo, nice try. Instead of accepting accountability for her actions and asking this body to have mercy on her, to have grace, she doubles down. She comes up on this dais and doubles down because you know what? She's being misled. But it's okay because that investigation is ongoing and they're going to get down to the bottom of everybody that helped you. Whoever helped you move your stuff, whoever helped you put up this fake facade, the fake apartment, whatever it is, we're going to get down to the bottom of it. And you can bet on that. Investigations. There are no active investigations against me by the city, and I will say by the district attorney, and I will say by the Federal Bureau of Investigation or any criminal organization that works in a local, state, or federal level. That's a fact. And then let's go. Confidential plates legally obtained. I have confidential plates on my car because look, $12 million, $14 million. You think people are not going to be upset about that?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to protect myself and my family. But guess what? Like I said, I've been to war twice. So anybody, and I'm telling you right now, if you choose to try to come after me, to try to cause harm to myself or my family, you better prepare yourself. You better prepare yourself. And that is not a warning. That is a promise. Compensation. They said that I gave myself a $20,000 raise. Guess what? The salary adjustment for the council member was implemented by the California State Bill, Senate Bill 329. After 17 years of no increases, we went from getting paid $800 to $1,800 a month. But they want to say I gave myself a $20,000 raise. Please. And the false allegations, the claims against me regarding misconduct are entirely false and baseless. I will say this. Instead of us wasting our time, and literally, if this goes to recall or if we do an election, it's going to cost us at least $500,000. That's $500,000, which I would want that to go to our senior citizens. I would want that to go to a park. I would want that to go for a number of other reasons. We could use $500,000, right? Instead of doing that, let's focus on this. Let's focus on investigating the failed pool project. Let's focus on tracing back the millions of unaccounted for dollars and restoring the faith and the trust of local government to the people. You guys deserve that. You deserve it as the people, and you should demand it. And everybody up here should be aligning ourselves with, like I said, transparency, openness, and accountability. We need to restore the faith of the city as residents in our government. I feel like we have failed you. I feel like we have failed you. But like I said, and this message goes to Mr. Efren Martinez, his girlfriend Graciela Ortiz, the mayor Karina Macias, the former council member Castillo de la Cruz, our Southgate resident. Thank you for being here. I know Southgate's a long drive, but this is my message to you. Bring it. Bring it. I will go to war for Huntington Park. I will go to war for Huntington Park. So bring it.
Every dignity, step down, all of you.
Just want to quickly thank all the community residents that came for all the comments. Thank you all for your time. I'm pretty confident in the process of the investigation. When the DA, police are being cordial, if they're in the process when they went to my home. I'm pretty confident in, like I said, the process of the investigation, and I want to thank the employees, and I want to thank the directors. Nobody has mentioned them because obviously there's a disruption here at City Hall. Work has not been done, not because they don't want to. We have very hardworking employees and directors here in the city, and I want to assure them that as we continue through this process of the investigation, that they are appreciated and cared for, and I want to make sure that they know and understand that, because in the process of all this, we can forget the humanity of our own employees and directors that are just trying to provide a service to the community. That includes our police department, that includes public works, parks, and obviously all the staff here at City Hall. I won't go into the politics that has been said here tonight, and I want to make sure that I feel very confident in where I stand as a council member and as a woman and as a resident here in the city, someone that grew up in the city, has lived in the city, has parents in the city, caregiver now for almost 10 years of them. Grew up seeing them being part of the community of our local schools. So I'm confident in that. I'm confident in my work. I'm confident in the community members, many that are here, that I've heard from, that have called me, and I assure them I'll continue my work. I don't want to swing things, I don't want to, do well. I've heard how I voted on things here, and I remain confident in the whole process as we move forward with this. I'm still confident, that
Good.
Aquatic Center, the whole project is not an illusion for the community, it could be a reality in the near future.
Another 6 years?
How many years from now?
Adjourn this meeting at 8:30. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
Just make the city hall.
Hit the road, Jack. 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 Hit the road, Jack.
Let's go.